What's up guys, Illusions back again today with a short information / discussion video regarding the new enemy leveling or scaling system in Fallout 4. Now if you've checked out my previous video discussing how exactly the Sole Survivor manages to live in Vault 111 for 200 years, you'll know that Game Informer recently published the August edition of their monthly gaming magazine, which includes a segment on Fallout 4 that notes some of the new features that Bethesda has introduced. One of these new features is enemy scaling, dubbed as rubber banding by Bethesda. The article lists a few key details from Todd Howard as to how exactly the system works. However, it's a very brief explanation, but it gives us a rough idea as to what we'll be seeing from the system come November. Here is the quote taken directly from the article. Wasteland survivors will need all the help they can get because Bethesda is altering its auto-scaling system to make regions more dangerous. We call it rubber banding. We'll have an area where enemies scale from level 5 to 10, and then this area will be level 30 and above. You'll run into stuff that will crush you, and you will have to run away. Like I said, that's just a very brief explanation of the system by Todd Howard there, but I want to talk about what exactly the system may be like when the game comes out. Now notice at the beginning of that quote they're talking about regional based scaling. I've noticed a lot of people thought the scaling would be based on individual locations, and some weren't happy with it, but I want to go into more detail about what exactly region based scaling could mean. Keep in mind we don't know a lot about the scaling system as of yet, so I am strolling into speculation territory. Okay, so first let's bring up a map of Boston and the surrounding areas and fill that map up with locations that we've seen from the Fallout 4 trailers. First, we have Watertown, the unconfirmed location of Vault 111, which is also right next to where the Sole Survivor used to live. Secondly, there's Concord and the surrounding areas where the Sole Survivor meets Preston Garvey for the first time. Thirdly, the city of Boston itself, and finally we have Ground Zero, where people believe the nuke that we saw in the trailers actually blew up. Quick note, these locations might be slightly off as this is just what people have figured out from the trailers. And now we add the scaling system to these regions. Watertown, Vault 111 and Sanctuary Hills would be a fairly low leveled area since it's the first region the player gets to visit, so let's put a scaling level of 1 to 3 on this region so low level players can actually cope though. Second would be the city of Boston with places like Diamond City, Scully Square, and maybe the Institute. Since Watertown is very close to this area, we'll put a scaling level of 3 to 5 on the region because the player may visit these areas very early in the game because they're closer together. Third would be the town of Concord and the surrounding areas such as West Concord and Hanscom Air Force Base. And since we already know from the trailers that there's raiders, deathclaws and the need to actually use power armor in Concord, we can already tell that this will be a pretty high level place to be in, so we'll put a scaling of 4 to 7 on the region. And finally we have Ground Zero. Ground Zero is the location in which the nuclear bomb lands in the trailer. Now, also in the trailers, we have had what seems to be a small look into the area around Ground Zero, and as you can see here from the Deathclaws and the Rad Scorpions, it's not a place you'd like to go with a very low level. So for this region, we'll put a scaling of level 6 to 9, and as you can see, we have the backbone of a region-based scaling system. Again, I need to stress here that this is just speculation. This sort of system may not even be in the game. I'm just trying to explain what they may mean by regions. Now, as I said previously, a lot of people believe that a scaling system based off of just specific locations would be a bad thing, because it may have limited what players could do. If you are one of those people who thought this, would the system that I've talked about here today change your mind? Personally, I like it because a system like this doesn't necessarily fully limit the player in what they can do, since it's really spread out over a bigger area. Also, it has that challenge factor that I believe previous Fallout games lacked. But yeah guys, that does it for this video I believe. Don't forget to post your opinions on the scaling system in the comments. I'm really interested to hear what people think of it, since from what I've seen, everyone's opinion was fairly divided. As always, thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys saw what I was trying to get at here. If you enjoyed the video and you want to see more videos like this with discussions and information, then feel free to leave a like. But other than that guys, peace.